This time on Documentify TV. Around 325 BC, a Greek navigator named Pytheas sailed out of Marseille, then a Greek colony called Massalia, and headed north. Not a little north, he sailed past the edge of every map the Greek world had ever drawn, past Britain, past Scotland, into waters where the sea itself turned to slush. He was the first person from the Mediterranean world known to reach the Arctic, and almost nobody believed him. To understand why this matters, you need to know what the world looked like to the Greeks of that era. The Mediterranean was the center of everything. Beyond the Strait of Gibraltar, the Pillars of Hercules, lay the open Atlantic, and Carthage controlled passage through it. Greek ships were not supposed to be there. But Marseille was a wealthy Greek trading colony, and Pytheas had backing, possibly from the city itself. Whether he slipped past the Carthaginian blockade or took an overland route to the Atlantic coast of France, he made it through, and then he kept going. He sailed up the Atlantic coast and reached Britain. He visited the tin mines of Cornwall. He estimated Britain's circumference at roughly 4,000 miles, remarkably close to the actual figure. Then he kept going north, past Scotland, past the Orkney Islands, and after 6 more days of open sailing, he reached a place he called Thule. This is where the evidence gets genuinely interesting. Pytheas described Thule as a land where the sun barely set in summer, a clear description of the midnight sun, which only occurs above the Arctic Circle. He described the sea around it as neither fully water nor fully land, a substance you could not walk on or sail through. Modern scholars interpret this as a pancake ice or slush ice, exactly what forms at the edge of the Arctic Sea in late summer. He also reported that locals grew grain and made a fermented drink from it, which fits agriculture in Norway, but not Iceland, which was almost certainly uninhabited at the time. Everything we know about this voyage comes secondhand. Pytheas wrote a book on the ocean, but it is lost. What survives are quotations in the works of later writers, and several of those writers thought he was a liar. The geographer Strabo called him a fabricator. The historian Polybius questioned whether a man of modest means could have made such a journey at all. But other ancient scholars trusted him. 2 of the most respected scientists of the ancient world, Eratosthenes and Hipparchus, used his astronomical measurements in their own calculations. His estimate of Marseille's latitude was accurate. His description of tidal patterns linked to the moon were centuries ahead of mainstream understanding. So what do we actually know? A Greek navigator reached the Arctic around 325 BC. He described phenomena, midnight sun, sea ice, tidal mechanics, that he could not have invented from a library in Marseille. His book is gone, but the observations survive, and modern science has confirmed them one by one. Where exactly Thule was, Norway, Iceland, the Faroe Islands, remains genuinely unresolved. But that Pytheas made the journey, the evidence says yes. Take a look at the 1,000-year-old skull that shows evidence of Viking brain surgery. That's it for today's video, folks. See you next time, right here on Documentify TV.